Just doing a little bit of trading during the London session, changing the color schemes on my charts with the new signal counter indicator to a black background, a little bit easier on the eyes. And as I was messing around, I just saw we got a 5 signal count on the 1 minute. I took the break lower, cashed out for 6 points. We ended up coming down over 15 points. Any indicator that you have that prints standard NinjaTrader drawing objects, like the dots and the arrows and the diamonds and the squares, the triangles, it can identify any of those. If there's a custom indicator, like some of the stuff that NINZA uses or other indicator companies where they're using a special rendered object of some kind and it's not the standard NinjaTrader drawing object, it will not recognize those. But as far as the MMT line of indicators, it will recognize any signals from the MMT line. The market is open. Got a 150 point overnight range on the daily chart. We've got some wicks at 230 and 180 to the downside, and to the upside around 430, kind of up in this mess. Yesterday's close, little gap, overnight open. We are 10 minutes in and I have not seen anything that makes me want to take a trade yet. Just been whipping up, whipping down, whipping up, whipping down. I'm waiting. I almost took a bounce trade right off of S1 pivot. We just bounced up about 20 points from the S1. A lot of negative delta coming in there. Could have been exhaustion, but didn't feel like risking the trade. Had a triple signal back here. Didn't have that much room up to my moving average here. And we're in the red zone on all 3 charts here. And the market hasn't really figured out what it wants to do yet, so still just waiting. I just got a little bounce trade. I hopped out really quick. I felt like I was taking more of a boredom trade just because I hadn't taken a trade yet this morning. We had delta drying up. We had this tiny little neutral candle with point of control drawn down into the wick. Started breaking above. Would have been a good trade. We just got a 4 signal back here, taking the break above that. Popped up 17 or 18 points right away. Guess I should have stayed in that long. Made it all the way back up to S1 pivot. Just had a 50 point retracement. My lack of sleep is definitely affecting my mood today. I barely slept and I have a bunch of other things that I need to do today. The 10 o'clock news came out and then we pulled down to the 180 level that I noticed on the daily chart earlier in the morning. I took a little bounce trade there, got my full 10 points. We did have some strong delta coming in. This candle was a lot smaller than the news candle. It looked like a strong level from the daily chart, so I risked a little bounce trade there. I just took one more trade from the 80 level. We were hovering here. The level was being respected. Delta was completely drying up. We had 2 neutral candles. Thought I might be able to get one more bounce out of it. We did. I got the full 10 points. It popped up over 20 points there. We have not had any multiple signal candles in a while. A lot of candles with 1 signal on them. Here's a triple signal, taking a break above these recent highs. Got enough room up to the next moving average. Can't say I'm really interested in a breakout trade in this area. A bounce trade off of a key level that I've already identified. Yes, perhaps. Breakout trade. I want to see some other things going in my favor. A bunch of delta coming into the upside. Something. We are building up a lot of big wicks down here. See all these white diamonds? We'll see. The NASDAQ does what it wants to do. Well, we did break above this level set from this triple signal candle back here. I usually like to have the breakout happen on the next candle, not 4 candles later. But we did break higher, over 15 points up to the 20 SMA area here. I've got the 20 range VWAP on this chart and the 5-minute chart here. They're usually very similar. Sometimes there can be some bigger differences though. At this point in the morning, trying to keep my focus more towards the short side. We're dropping, hitting the S2. Got one more wick here in this area. That could have been a good area for a little bounce. Nothing much left in the way till 100 points lower or so on the daily chart. Up around $200. My 4 accounts. I think I've got most of the bugs worked out of the signal counter indicator, so I'll try and make that available at some point this week. I found out one of the issues with some of the loading time was if I had all the historical signals loaded, apparently it has to search through pretty much everything before it can print these numbers. So I added a feature to either show the historical signals or not show them. And if you don't load the historical signals, I don't have anything loaded from before I turned on the charts here. So this is just what is printed since I turned the charts on. This loads instantaneously, no problems, works great. But if you load the historical signals, it will take longer to load, and that will also heavily depend on the time frame and how many days you have loaded in your data series. On the 5-minute chart, I can load the historical signals for 3 to 5 days worth, no problem. It takes about 10 seconds. But with the 1-minute chart, having several days of historical signals loaded, sometimes it'll load in 20 or 30 seconds, and sometimes it takes a lot longer. But after I've done all my back testing, if I turn off the historical signals, it loads instantaneously. And there doesn't seem to be any way around that. That's just how NinjaTrader has to do it in order to be able to count all the historical signals. So we have moved quite a bit lower here. Got some strong positive delta trying to creep in there. All right, apparently I had to get one more trade in there. We were coming down quite a bit and delta was drying up. We almost had some major single bar divergence as this last candle was forming. I hopped into a long trade thinking we might pull back to at least the 50 level, which we did, and now we've pulled back much higher. Added another 80 bucks to the pile there. I'm not interested in this triple signal. We just had a double signal back here. Had a nice breakout after that candle. We just been on a tear to the downside. I'm less likely to take breakouts in the opposite direction, but I do occasionally like taking bounce trades at key levels, or if I see delta drying up at key areas, things like that. But extended breakouts going the opposite direction, not so much. There are links to all the fun toys in the description, and if you feel like supporting the channel, if you use code MonkeyMan over at Apex or Take Profit Trader or Tradeify or DayTraders, I appreciate you taking the time to tune in. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.